Welcome to the Functional Family Therapy Foster Care Program. We're glad that you've joined us for the clinical training part of the program. We think you're going to find this to be really an exciting training that brings together some unique aspects of how to use an evidence-based program like functional family therapy in the very unique context of foster care and working with teens in foster care. You know, there's a number of evidence-based practices that have been developed to help youth. Some of them have great success. Functional family therapy is actually one of those. At this point, it's been implemented in 8 different countries over the course of more than 30 years, with solid research and outcomes, and even research about the processes and the core clinical change mechanisms that are necessary to help youth and their families work together to get engaged in treatment, become motivated to change, incorporate new skills, and maintain those over time. Functional family therapy has been used in a number of programs with teens in foster care. We've done it in the community in many, many situations, but it has not ever been done systematically, and it hasn't been done with a specific focus to tailoring the program to the unique challenges of teens in foster care. To be successful with teens in foster care, you have to not just use the good evidence-based mechanisms of functional family therapy and its focus on the family, engagement, motivation, and skill building, but you have to look at the unique issues of the context of foster care, who the family is, who to target the change to, and how to coordinate services. Functional family therapy foster care is a relationally focused and trauma-informed treatment approach that increases the likelihood of successful positive adjustment and permanency placement for adolescents and teens in the foster care system. The model is a comprehensive and systematic approach to helping youth overcome the individual and relational trauma they've experienced in order to promote stable foster care placements and long-term permanency placements. The model uses the evidence of functional family therapy and its relationally focused techniques to help engage, develop a family-focused treatment, and help both foster parents and youth and permanency parents and youth succeed in successful and stable placements. FFT foster care uses a team approach, and FFT foster care treatment specialists work together to staff cases, develop treatment plans, to monitor and track the progress and the relationship between foster parents, permanency parents, and teens, and to determine both outcomes and clinical needs. The therapeutic foster parents that are part of this program get extra training in how to understand youth behavior from a trauma perspective and how to serve as important team members in the complicated task of helping foster care teens stay stable, succeed in school, stay out of the justice system, and ultimately achieve permanency. In addition, these foster parents receive special training to help them develop those stable relationships, and the foster care placement is seen in this program as a core element to successful treatment. Functional family therapy foster care is designed to meet the unique needs of youth in treatment. It's relationally focused, trauma-informed. It's a pathway that's intended to increase the likelihood of positive adjustment and then permanency. It's comprehensive, it's systematic, it's organized towards helping youth and individuals overcome the trauma experiences and the relational trauma that they have experienced in the system and because of the events that led them to be removed from their home. Now, in the training program, you're going to find that there's 2 core principles behind the way we go about training you. First, there's the knowledge component. The knowledge is a knowledge that you need to have about how youth work, how to understand their behaviors, how problems may develop in both foster care placements with foster families and in permanency placements. We also need to know how to put the useful and evidence-based mechanisms of change from FFT into place within that system of youth flowing from being referred, being in foster care, to ultimately being in a permanency placement. Now, there are multiple components to this knowledge base, and we're going to begin today with an overview of the program and an overview of the training program that you'll be experiencing. The knowledge components are going to be taught with an online learning management system called Adaptware. Adaptware allows for you to go to at your own pace and use the medium that matches your own learning style. You can watch things, you can read things, and in both cases you'll have a chance to practice your knowledge to make sure that you have a grasp over the core knowledge domains necessary to do this intervention. Adaptware also allows us, and those training you, to have an evidence-based perspective and to demonstrate that you do have and you have been able to develop the knowledge skills necessary to work in FFT foster care. However, we know that that's not the only component of a good treatment program, just knowledge. You have to be able to put that knowledge into practice. And the experience and application of knowledge comes through a series of workshops, weekly consultation, and work with an FFT foster care expert, even helping you in working with live families. Translate your skills from a knowledge to a performance domain. This kind of consultation allows you, the interventionist, to get good at just not knowing, but also being able to do what it takes to do this intervention. Now we have 3 goals today in this discussion. First, I want to talk a little bit about who we are and what you can expect from the training and how it's going to go. Secondly, I want to spend some time talking about FFT and foster care and the unique nature of how those two need to go together. As I mentioned before, in our perspective, it's not enough just to take FFT and apply it to foster kids and foster families. They're not the same as biological families and the domain in which FFT was validated. Lastly, I want to talk about implementing FFT foster care and using evidence-based treatment planning and our Care for measurement feedback system that's going to accompany the program all along. First, let me introduce you to the FFT foster care team. My name is Tom Sexton. I'm one of the model developers of functional family therapy, and I've been training people in functional family therapy for over 30 years. I'm a licensed psychologist. I'm a diplomate in couple and family psychology. I've been a university professor and now focus my attention on training and developing adaptations of functional family therapy. Vicki Kelly, who's my co-founder and my co-grantee in this project. She's the former director of Child and Family Services, Delaware. She's also a seasoned FFT therapist. Astrid Van Dam is the clinical director of Functional Family Therapy Associates and works with FFT teams all over the world. She has an early history in her career in the foster care area. And Julian King, he's our technical director and works with Care for, which is the foundation of the program. This entire project has been funded by the Annie E. Casey Foundation, and particularly the Evidence-Based Practices Group. We're very, very fortunate. We're very, very appreciative of their support. Let's spend some time talking about the clinical training and what you can expect from us. This is a bit of a different kind of training than you might expect. It's systematic, it's comprehensive, it will require a lot from you. And part of the reason that that is the case is that there is so much at stake. You are the intervention. You are who and what translates the FFT potential to the family so that they can gain. So from our perspective, anything that we can do that can help you understand families better, help you intervene more successfully with them, and work collaboratively with them, you'll feel more empowered in your job and you'll have more success. We've got a number of training goals particularly, and these training goals are based upon some of our experience in over 20 years of implementing FFT. First of all, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you're competent, adherent FFT therapists. And what we mean by that is not that you're robots and that you follow the model, but that you follow the model and then implement that model with creativity in a unique and different way with every family that you work. We want to help you have positive community outcomes. What that means is that the families we work with don't come back to treatment. They stay out of treatment. They get out of the child welfare system, out of the justice system, and out of the mental health system. And they're able to go back to live their lives, not without problems, but with the resources and skills they need to manage those. Number 3, our goal is to create an organization that can sustain FFT with high quality. Now, organizations get pull you in lots of different directions for lots of different reasons, contracting, administration issues, etc. Our goal is not to change any of that. Our goal is to just make sure that there's room and space for FFT so that you can do the kinds of things that we're asking of you so that you can have the best outcome. Now, one of the things that entering into this, or one of the things we want to suggest as you enter into this, is that while families are nice to work with, they're not always easy, and they can be very complicated. They can be complicated for lots of different reasons. In part, what you see on the surface about a family is just the tip of the iceberg, because below that iceberg is a complexity in terms of behavioral patterns and these unique meanings that people put on them, and this invisible relational stability that gets built through attachments and relational functions. And the ability to look beyond the family and its structure and its content and to see its relational process is very, very difficult. And that's why, from an FFT and a trainer perspective, we tried to bring 3 particular things to you to help you manage that complexity. First of all, we have, and part of Adaptware, part of what you're experiencing now, is our attempt at helping you learn the core and specialized knowledge of not only FFT, but family functioning, family process, family relationships, and youth and caregiver behavior. To that, we're going to add guided experience and practice. We're going to take your knowledge and through a lot of activities in the training program, help you put that knowledge into practice. And then third, we're going to help you learn FFT by the fact that each time you do it, we're going to help focus your attention through the model lens and through the clinical protocol so that you're able to apply the best of FFT through progress notes and session planning guides that are all part of the Care4 platform. You know, like all things, FFT is a system of constructs and concepts and ideas that go together and fit into and make up the theory of FFT. Part of that theory is just your ability to look in a family relational way at what happens in front of you in a family session and understand it from a relational family perspective rather than an individual perspective. You have to be able to watch what goes on and see patterns, hear meaning, and look at functions and be able to understand how they work together. So to be successful, it takes having a comprehensive and systematic lens to look at what you see in front of you that helps organize it in a way that makes the likelihood of you being successful higher. Second, going anywhere usually is easier with a map. And in this particular case, the map of FFT TCM is one that takes you from engaging families to helping them change, to helping them maintain those change. The map of FFT is much like the stages of change approach. It brings you to focus on and helps remind you to focus on the things that are most important in the next step of change for the family. Lastly, it's art. You know, as much as we can help you think about things in a particular way, and as much as we can help you follow a particular systematic map of first, then the middle or second, then the third or the end, it still takes creativity and art. And at the end of the day, it's really about how artful you can be in taking the model and the lens and adapting it to what the unique experience, whether it be emotional, whether it be angry, whether it be heartfelt, whatever happens in front of you, to be able to take these things that we're trying to help you learn and apply them in a way that you never have before because it fits that family. But at the same time, it's consistent with the lens and it fits in to the stages of change. So, to be successful, a lens, a map, and your ability to be an artist and a creative translator of the FFT model to the family. So we have a lot of different tools for you in our evidence-based approach. First of all, you're in Adaptware, so you know that that's where you're going to be learning a lot of the knowledge-based things. And we've developed and built Adaptware based upon current learning theory and adult learning principles. And you'll notice as you go through our approach in Adaptware, things are short. They're 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes long. They're broken up into small units where you can consume and understand something in a unit and then move on to another. We have a number of papers, we have a number of manuals, we have a number of books. All of those materials are integrated into Adaptware. Second, our approach is to take your knowledge as you develop it and put it into practice with practice-based learning activities and experiences. Now, the way that's going to work is that weekly we'll have video conferences with you and your consultant where you'll talk through cases and discuss particular therapeutic issues. During the year, we'll also appear at your agency for what we call site-based externship, or site visits, in which you'll bring families into the agency. We'll work together with them live, and we'll help you translate your learning not only after the fact, but in real time. This is a way in which everybody on the team gets to experience the ability to move their knowledge into practice with guided supervision. Now, our training methods involve a number of different things. First of all, we have our online FFT Adapt courseware. And it's a way to present knowledge in an interactive way through the web with small doses. There's going to be traditional training. A number of times during the year, I'll come and one of the trainers will come so that we can discuss and have interaction around different principles and techniques. There's weekly case consultation, small group discussions following a developmental model. And we very much follow a developmental model. So you're going to notice in supervisions and in consultations that happen each week, it's not as if you will determine what you want to bring to supervision. The consultant will also look across all the struggles that everybody's having and determine cases to focus on and issues to focus on that fit the struggle of the entire group. That way everybody gets a chance to benefit from everyone else's case experiences. Then there's practice. The site visits, as I said, will help you translate knowledge into practice, and practice becomes essential. We have and we will use systematic planning and quality assurance monitoring throughout this process. That will happen with the FFT Care for clinical feedback system. And you'll notice that as we move through the training, we'll teach you how to do what we call progress notes. Those are a chance for you to reflect on what you did after a session. We'll teach you how to look at the client's feedback from that session and then how to incorporate that evidence into a new plan, all of which is done in a time-efficient and helpful and easy-to-do way. There's going to be ongoing measurement, both baseline and discharge, so you can get the big picture of how they've changed, and weekly and monthly, so you can figure out about phase changes and about how progress is going. And systematic case planning with FFT progress notes and planning guides. And then case experience is essential. The more cases you see, the better you will be, which is why for certification we have case experience requirements. Now, FFT Adaptware, as you're getting into it, it's got a number of different things. We hope it'll be very helpful for you. Let me give you a brief overview. In each of the sections that you'll have, there'll be different parts that you can pay attention to. There's a watch section, a read section, and a practice section. On the left-hand side, you'll see where you are in that particular unit. There are units. Within units, there are different sections. And in this particular example, you can see this is a foster care example. The particular person is on Unit 3, and what they're working on is right in front of them. Now, in Adaptware, there's also things to read that go with each section. The readings are not always exactly the same as the videos, but they provide different information in a different learning style. Now, from all of this material, we're able to see how well you do with different sections. We're able to see how well your course progress is pursuing. We're able to see how well you've done in each question and the time that you put in to watching the videos. And so we have a comprehensive report that we'll be able to see about your behavior. So it's important to know that whether you watch the video or not, whether you complete the questions or not, we'll know about that in the final report. Now, the training roadmap looks a bit like this. You're going to start with Adaptware, about 200 pages of text, about 20 hours of videos done over about 45 different units. We're going to have a practice visit where we're going to come to your site and get started, followed by training and practice visits and training through the rest of the year. And this training roadmap leads you to certification as an FFT therapist. That's a competency-based certification. What I mean is that it's based upon your care for use, your case outcomes, and your clinical decision-making ability and therapeutic fidelity. So it's important to demonstrate, not only to complete the training, but to demonstrate your competence in the training to become certified in FFT. We're going to, for example, monitor your fidelity and your quality all the way along the way. Our consultants and supervisors are going to be focused on helping improve the quality of what you do by helping you become more adherent to the model first, and then more competent in delivering that model by focusing on how you think and the decisions you make. We're going to help manage the service delivery system so that it promotes good delivery of FFT. And we're going to do it in a way in which we're going to try to create what we call a learning and a growing climate at your agency. And what that climate means is that in the training and the discussion of cases, that we're able to both disagree, agree, be supportive, and be critical and constructive in helping you learn new things. So it is a learning environment focused on on promoting new knowledge and the ability to translate that knowledge in an alliance-based way. But that doesn't mean that we won't disagree. It doesn't mean that we won't push you. It doesn't mean we won't help you try to learn. Now, as I said earlier, training in FFT has got to be a very collaborative experience. There's you're going to be doing your session planning. There's the family who's going to tell us how it's working. There's your FFT consultant who's going to give you a perspective. And then there's the team who will also help you focus and give you different ideas. All of this way of getting different kinds of input is not meant to question your ability. It's meant to give you more information and give you more help in coming up with creative solutions to help the family. What can you expect from us? Because that's an important feature here. And as I said earlier, we take pride, and it's very important to us that you know what to expect. Our primary goal is helping you learn, helping you become efficacious and confident in your ability to do FFT. So we are your consultants in learning. You're the one that's getting the learning. You're the one that's doing the work. We can only help you do that. And we are here to make you successful through feedback and guidance. But the clinical responsibility lies with you, and we'll communicate everything that we see as important. We hope that you'll do the same, and we're always open to suggestions, ideas, help, and requests. But we will push you, we will help you, we will teach you, but we'll work together with you as well. When it comes to supervision and consultation, because we focus so intently on your clinical decision making, you can frequently feel like there's a hot seat and that you're on the hot seat during that hour each week. We want to suggest to you that there is no hot seat. There's an opportunity to learn. And in that seat, that learning seat, that opportunity seat, you're going to get really focused attention on how you thought, what you considered, and the decision that you make. And it isn't to be critical of that. It's to help expand the ways in which you make decisions so that you can do them in more artful ways in the future. We're going to be evidence-based. So you can expect from us that our adherence ratings that we'll do on you, our therapist adherence measure, the TAM, will be done with evidence. Our systematic feedback to you will be done with evidence as well. So you can trust that we'll use data in making the decisions that we make and giving the feedback that we're going to give to you. Now, as I said earlier, training in FFT has got to be a very collaborative experience. There's you're going to be doing your session planning. There's the family who's going to tell us how it's working. There's your FFT consultant who's going to give you a perspective. And then there's the team who will also help you focus and give you different ideas. All of this way of getting different kinds of input is not meant to question your ability. It's meant to give you more information and give you more help in coming up with creative solutions to help the family. What can you expect from us? Because that's an important feature here. And as I said earlier, we take pride, and it's very important to us that you know what to expect. Our primary goal is helping you learn, helping you become efficacious and confident in your ability to do FFT. So we are your consultants in learning. You're the one that's getting the learning. You're the one that's doing the work. We can only help you do that. And we are here to make you successful through feedback and guidance. But the clinical responsibility lies with you, and we'll communicate everything that we see as important. We hope that you'll do the same, and we're always open to suggestions, ideas, help, and requests. But we will push you, we will help you, we will teach you, but we'll work together with you as well. When it comes to supervision and consultation, because we focus so intently on your clinical decision making, you can frequently feel like there's a hot seat and that you're on the hot seat during that hour each week. We want to suggest to you that there is no hot seat. There's an opportunity to learn. And in that seat, that learning seat, that opportunity seat, you're going to get really focused attention on how you thought, what you considered, and the decision that you make. And it isn't to be critical of that, it's to help expand the ways in which you make decisions so that you can do them in more artful ways in the future. We're going to be evidence-based, so you can expect from us that our adherence ratings that we'll do on you, our therapist adherence measure, the TAM, will be done with evidence. Our systematic feedback to you will be done with evidence as well. So you can trust that we'll use data in making the decisions that we make and giving the feedback that we're going to give to you. If you prepare, training will be more relevant and applicable. Your practice will be better, and you'll have more time to do many of the other activities that you need to do in the next few weeks. So get ready, take some time, set some time apart, and invest in this opportunity. You can find help in lots of different ways. First of all, FFT has a lot of help in Adaptware. You can go to the FFT website, functionalfamilytherapy.com. You can go to the Learning Institute and the Learning Center, and you can find all sorts of different learning activities and learning resources there. Weekly consultation is a great place to get help, and you can ask the consultant, your supervisor, or email us directly. Your questions are important, and please ask them. Remember, the primary goal here is ask, don't get frustrated.